Is it on? It's on right now. Oh, dear Lord. Hi, folks. Welcome to the very first Facebook Live video, Big Show video, and, of course, the Big Show with Chris Moe. And I, of course, am he who has already now previously been mentioned, Chris Moe. It's Saturday night, and who the hell knows what day it is? I don't keep up anymore. I just know it's July, somewhere in there. And I'm doing this video for a number of reasons. One, this is to kind of try out that newfangled technology that all the kids are crazy about right now, this Facebook Live business. And it's also to kind of give my thoughts on some current issues. Now, in keeping with the mission statement of the Big Show with Chris Moe, which there isn't one, this isn't about any recent terror/violent events. So, I'm not going to give you my thoughts on that because really, you know your thoughts on it, you know other people's thoughts on it, you don't need to know my thoughts on it, and there we are. I'm not going to say this is more important because it's by no means more important, but it is a diversion, and so it's still important. It's something people are passionate about. And I'm going to get to what that is, and I think you'll figure it out before I get to that. So here we go, though. This is crazy, kids. I don't know about you, man. Live Facebook video. Or is it called, I have in the corner, you can't see them, imaginary production staff. They're in the corner. Is it called Live Facebook? No, Facebook Live. Facebook Live. Okay, it's called Facebook Live. I don't get the notes on time around here. Yeah, maybe a little more timely next time. Maybe before we start the video. Yeah, okay. Anywho, I want to talk about something that has happened in Hollywood now for way too long, and that is I'm just noticing, like right here, little things are popping up. A heart, and I guess it's a thumb. Somebody apparently wants me to pick them up. They're hitchhiking. I don't know. I know nothing about Bookface, really. No, I want to talk about something that's happened in Hollywood, and really, it's kind of systematic, or rather symptomatic of our society, and that is there seems to be a lack of creativity in general. And some of this, what I'm about to talk about, can work, and some of it usually doesn't. And I'm going to talk about the difference. Reboots. Okay, now we're not talking about your computer. We're talking about when you reboot a franchise, you reboot a television show, you reboot a movie, you reboot whatever it might be, a comic book even. The danger comes if you don't really understand whether or not that material is rebootable. And I personally, this is all just Chris Moe's ideas here, wacky as they may be, they're mine. But I personally believe, through years and years of dedicated geek experience, I believe that, you know what, there are things that are rebootable, and then there are concepts that within the actual concept itself, you don't need to reboot because it lends itself to constant continuation, right? A continuity of events, whereas some things you have to maybe reboot. Let me talk about some good reboots, because some people will say, oh, there are good reboots out there. I don't know why they're all in their 90s, but there are some people that would say, oh, no, there aren't any good, there are good reboots. Yes, there are. Let's talk about it. Night of the Living Dead actually had a really good reboot in 1990. Not better than the original, but a good reboot. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, great reboot. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, another great reboot. The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. Also a great reboot. And we could talk about other ones. There are other good ones out there, but those, I think, are the exceptions to the rule. And the rule is that you don't reboot certain things that have a built-in concept that can carry on the story. So let me give you an example. Star Trek. Yes, it was rebooted, kind of, sort of, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, back in 2009 to where it's an alternate universe, but the other universe still exists. Yes, fine. You don't have to reboot Star Trek, though, ever, because it's the galaxy. It's all that stuff out there. You can go on forever. Here's a ship in the 22nd century. Here's a ship in the 48th billionth century. And you can keep that. It's limitless. The concept, people on a ship exploring, it's limitless, right? Or a space station or what have you. Or getting lost in space, or the first people to go out on a ship that can go out in space, etc. Now, the other concept that isn't really necessarily something you have to reboot, Star Wars. Some people have called The Force Awakens a reboot. Not really. It's a continuation. It's a passing on of the mantle, the baton, if you will. So that brings me to why I'm doing this video, what I'm talking about. Here is a concept, kids, that does not need to be rebooted, and that is Ghostbusters. The premise of Ghostbusters is so simple in its beauty that it doesn't need to ever really be rebooted. It can be continued ad infinitum, and depending on how poorly or well it's done, it can be ad nauseam, right? But Ghostbusters is a very simple premise. You have these guys, they discover that ghosts are real, right? And then, not only do they discover proof of that, they find a way to capture ghosts and then to eliminate them, and they become, heroes in the process. The plan there always was to make it an international thing, because we've been around now on this earth for a couple of, 100,000 years? I ain't a scientist. But we've been around for a while, so you'd have a lot of souls to play around with, a lot of ghosts if you believe in that thing. And for the sake of the story, you have to. And so still billions of people around now, so you would constantly have a need for these paranormal investigators and eliminators, which is what the Ghostbusters are. So you don't need to reboot it, okay? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the new Ghostbusters movie is out, and if you're a fan of the original, great. If you're not a fan of the original, also great. But apparently it's not okay to be a person who watched the trailers, didn't see the movie, and won't. But apparently it's not right to be a person who says, oh, I just don't like what I see in the trailers, and I'm against it. Because now, if you say that, with this movie in particular, you're sexist. Because you must not like women. Because you don't like this Ghostbusters movie. That, by the way, kind of has a sexist premise. It's all women, and from every review I've read and watched this weekend so far, I'm hearing that the goal of this new Ghostbusters movie is to bash men. Now, how is that sexually, gender, what would the word be, fair, egalitarian for all people? Well, how is that diverse and inclusive if we're going to bash one gender while raising the other one up? So all of that, though, aside, here's the thing. You don't need, and this is why I refuse to see the movie, besides the fact that the jokes just fall flat, besides the fact that the special effects look awful, besides the fact that I don't like some of the actors in there. That's okay, by the way. It doesn't make me sexist to not like Melissa McCarthy. That's okay. Because there are a lot of male actors I don't like either. And that doesn't make me, a man hater, despite the fact that I am a man. So, got a little pop-up here thing. I don't know what's happening. But what I do know is this. The idea of Ghostbusters, had this been a continuation, had the original Ghostbusters cast been included in this film, and they are in it, but they are not themselves. Had this been a continuation, almost knocked over my water bottle. Ooh, easy there. Had it been a continuation carrying on the story, and had even the same actresses, really, despite the fact that I'm not really a fan of Melissa McCarthy, had the story been better, from what I've read, had it not been a rehash of the first movie, a remake, and also had it continued the story forward, which really, again, you can globalize Ghostbusters, you can explore all sorts of things. Those of you of my generation remember the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon, how they fought like Samhain, who was of course, is the Celtic god of Halloween. They fought the embodiment of him. They fought Cthulhu. If you don't know who Cthulhu is, that's Lovecraftian. I mean, there's so much you can do with Ghostbusters, just like with Star Trek, just like with Star Wars. Those franchises wisely knew that if we're going to reboot, we're going to continue by bringing the original surviving cast members in and kind of build on that. And Star Wars didn't reboot, but it also brought back the original cast. Here, Ghostbusters, though, throw it all out. Let's get rid of all of it. Let's toss it all out. So this brings me to my second thing that I want to talk about tonight, very briefly, because I think I'm running out of storage space here, and probably people's patience. The other thing, don't feel like you have to watch anything or read anything or do anything that you don't like. I have talked to people recently in the last 5 years who are like, oh, I hate these new comic books by DC Comics, but I'm reading them anyway. Why would you? And they're not just reading them, they're buying them. That is sending a message to their creators. People like this. And there's a vocal minority that doesn't, but people are buying it. Sales dictate what we get, kids. So if you go see Ghostbusters and your first thought is, this looks terrible from every trailer, but I'm going to just go see it because, it's there. I have to see it. No. I had people come to me and say, well, surely you're going to go see the Batfleck v. Not-So-Superman movie. No, I'm not. Well, but you love Batman and Superman, don't you? Yes, but this isn't Batman and Superman. And I had one person actually tell me, but you kind of have to go see it, though, don't you? I mean, being such a big geek and a fan of Batman and Superman, no, I don't have to go see it. Because there's no one holding a geek gun to the head. I don't have to go see it, and you don't either. I'm going to give you the freedom now. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. I don't know what that was, but I'm going to give you the freedom to not go see these movies. You don't have to. Send the message to the audience. This is my political adjourning gesture. Send the message to the studios, hey, we're not going to just buy whatever crap you give us. And then you know what they might do? They might wake up and go, maybe we should listen to the fans, look at Deadpool, look at the success of Deadpool, okay? Just look at the success of the Marvel movies over the last decade. Billions of dollars. Why? Listen to the fans. Knew what the fans wanted and kept in touch with that. Look at the failure of Batfleck v Not So Superman and the very lukewarm excitement for Disgustus League that's coming out, unfortunately, soon. And Wonderless Woman. I mean, if you listen to the fans and you're faithful to that, they will be there. And if you're not, they shouldn't be. But there is a group of fans who say, oh, I got to go see it. I don't understand that. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Some things are rebootable. Some things should never be. RoboCop, another great example. You could have carried that story on because it's built into the concept. You can just kind of reboot Murphy into a 2.0 RoboCop. You don't have to create a brand new storyline. Same with Ghostbusters. Add new people, bring in the old guys as the characters they were to pass the torch. Very simple. And then the second thing, vote with your wallets, kids. If you don't like it, if you've been bitching and moaning about it now, like I have been about Ghostbusters and Batfleck v Not So Superman, don't go see it. That's all I got for you. First, Facebook. It's Facebook Live, right? Imaginary production staff, yes, telling me, why don't I remember that? They're all millennials. These old people, they don't think we can remember things. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please leave some comments, share this video, and there'll be more of these here, newfangled live videos coming, whenever they come. Thanks for watching. Hey, how do I turn it off? Do you know how to turn this off? No, I don't know how to turn it off. Oh, finish? I press finish? Okay, now, bye-bye.